Go ahead.
So,
All right, who are you?
My name is Ryan Campbell. I work with Evolve Restoration Construction. We're a local company. We're out of Sherman Oaks. So I'm staring at you. We're out of Sherman Oaks. We're a private company. We're in about 32 states nationwide. And this is our construction business. We're a one-stop shop for any type of home construction and smoke remediation. That's our specialty as well. What we do that no one else in the restoration business for this catastrophic event is doing is first we pay and hire an industrial hygienist. We have a team of industrial hygienists that we pay $1,500 on us, not out of the homeowner. That comes out, he does swabs of your entire home, top to bottom, all the attic cavities, the crawl spaces underneath, everything. Those swabs get sent to a third-party lab.
Now, what is an industrial hygienist?
So he's actually close to being a scientist. The amount of schoolwork that you have to do, I mean, it's like going in the medical field almost, or the science field as well. To become one, it's not like you can be a phlebotomist, in a couple months.
Or a magician.
Honestly, I don't know. I think that takes a lot of time. Honestly, you got to know your stuff for that. But so the first step is we get him to come out with his team, depending on how big the property is. They come out, however many, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Takes 4 to 6 hours. It's about a half a day, depending on the home size, but about a half a day for them to take those swabs. They take the swabs, and I can usually have them come out to the home once everything's signed with us, and our company works on just contingency agreement with the insurance of what's approved. So he comes out with his team, tests, swabs, sends it to a third-party lab. I can get him out here within 3-4 days, sometimes faster. It just depends how many we have going on. Currently, we've done over I think we're right around 120, 130 claims that we have done for smoke damage remediation and restoration. Once the hygienist gets those lab results back, sometimes it takes another 4 to 5, 1 week, up to a week for the lab results. He gets those results, and that is the protocol that he puts together based on the toxin levels and chemicals that are in the home. The typicals, lead and asbestos is showing up every time on every single one of the ones that we've done so far.
Now, do they do air quality too?
Yes, we test everything. So your HVAC system would be your air quality as well. So those swabs will show that as well. So it's not just that you have to worry about that I've explained to Jay. It's actually like they're called TCDDs. It's a very long chemical name, and I was in chemical engineering for a decade before I got into this, and I'm very familiar with the plastics that burn. A TCDD is a chemical when plastics burn is what it gives off. It's microscopic, it's odorless, and it embeds into the home in certain places, like your lumber, like in let's say your attic cavity. So all the lumber up there, it actually embeds into the wood and buries itself. Then it can seep down into your drywall. The only way, there's a very methodical process, which is what the hygienist puts together based on those lab results. You have to chemically clean it. It's like a 5-step process of chemical cleaning and then encapsulating. When I say encapsulating, once it's in your lumber or drywall, encapsulating is a process after the cleaning where we paint it. You have to paint it. So if it shows up in your drywall on your walls, we have to paint your whole house inside. Everything gets painted. So that is the steps.
You get to choose the colors.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, just
like just like picking out your shingles. If your roof's damaged, I'm going to check that too, because we do roofing. We're a one-stop shop, roofing, construction, everything, and and then you pick out your paint, whatever. But that report that he gets, that report that he gets or puts together is the protocol. It's very methodical. And it is a certain process.
And a reasoning on why you need to do this because of these results.
Yes. And due to that instance, whatever report he puts together, we use a public adjuster. So a public adjuster, are you familiar with a public adjuster? So a public adjuster it's like your attorney almost. I don't want to say that term because I don't want it to scare you.
An independent.
He's an independent, for your behalf, on your best interest, not your insurance's best interest of saying, hey, we can just come in, wipe down the walls, clean your floors, and take out your insulation and call it good to go. And so,
Justify what needs to be done and what it costs to do it right.
Well, it comes down to science. It's science data from the lab report of these are the toxins and chemicals in your home, even though it doesn't smell like smoke, even though you wiped up the soot and ash that blew through your windows from the 100-mile-an-hour winds. If you can see those large particles like that came into your home, then you definitely have these small microscopic ones that are the most dangerous, unfortunately. And those are the ones that are going to cause problems later down the road that we're trying to prevent. After that gets sent through our public adjuster, who acts on your best behalf, almost like your attorney, to make sure, hey, insurance, this is what has to happen because these are the toxins that are inside of this home, and here are the methodical process of how to decontaminate the home to bring it back to a safe living condition, and you get a clean bill of health. After we come in and do our cleaning, according to that protocol, we then pay for the hygienist to come back out, re-swab again. This is not out of the homeowner's or property manager or owner's pocket. This is us fronting that bill to make sure that we did our job correctly. Once that gets confirmed, and if we didn't, then we come back out and we clean whatever toxins. If something shows up in any of those same swab areas, then we come back and we redo that until it's a clean bill of health. And you actually get a certification of a clean bill of health from the industrial hygienist once that's completed.
Now, is there any way to know if these were in the house before the fire? Or is this just...
This is what we're seeing because it is the things that burned and the 100+ mile-an-hour winds that blew them into these homes. I have numerous toxicity reports from the laboratory that we send it to, and lead and asbestos are, I've never seen, 164 micrograms, which is absolutely ridiculous, and that is like very high toxicity level, and that's just the lead and asbestos. But once you get into these other chemicals from the ion batteries that burn, and from the metals and everything else, it's baffling to me because of my background that I know personally dealing with chemicals in the engineering, processing industry of where my background's at. Everyone works on your behalf, on your best interests when it comes to it. It's not on the insurance. Insurance is, I don't want to dog on insurance. I don't want to dog on Serpro, but everything comes down to how it needs to be properly cleaned. And the only way to know that is by testing before and then putting the protocol together. Insurance, I've seen them, a lot of them lately, a lot of these claims, and they want you to use their preferred providers is what it's called, and they're suppliers, they're restoration companies that are on their provided contractors list of suppliers, and it's easy for them to cut a $20,000-$30,000 check, but in all reality sometimes this can be in excess of $100,000 of a claim, maybe $200,000. It just depends on the size of the home. I'm just kind of throwing things out there. I don't want to scare you, but this is what the reality is and what we're seeing. We've come across, we're doing commercial also. It's not just residential. We have a ton of commercial. We have $21 million in commercial going right now already. We're doing all the churches around here. We are tied in deep to this area. It means a lot to us. I have family friends that live here, even though I'm not from here technically, but I have family friends out here. And that's the main reason I came out here to start with, to take care of them with the best company that I know that's doing it the right way. More than anything, as I told Jay, I'm trying to educate as many homeowners as possible, because if as long as I can do that and at least tell them the dangers of this, then I know I tried my best. Even if if they're going with their insurance, there's a lot of homeowners that are scared they're going to get dropped. Look, there's been a new Senate bill that's been passed. That Senate bill, SB 12, I think is what it is, from Gavin Newsom. Because you look back in November, and so many homeowners got dropped from their insurance companies for no reason. The new bill states that you cannot be dropped for 1 year from your renewal. So if your renewal is in 11 months, then 1 year from 11 months from now, they can't drop you until that point. So that at least helps out. And if you don't have a homeowner's insurance policy, let's say you don't have the fire policy for your insurance, that's where the FEMA comes in. We deal with that as well. FEMA, we go through that same routine, but instead of through your insurance, we deal with it with FEMA, and they are helping out the same amount of homeowners, as many as they can. They are required to pay. I mean, this is what it comes down to. You've been paying your insurance, your homeowner's policy for 20 years, 30 years, whatever, and that's the whole point of having insurance. And it hurts me, or it really concerns me that you're not one, some people don't want to utilize the insurance that they've been paying for this amount of time, decades, but that's the whole point. When you get an offender bender, what's the first thing you do? You call your insurance and you get it taken care of, and you put your car in the shop. Your home is your home, though. Your car is just a car, but this is where you live, and you're inside of these establishments every day. So you're breathing in this stuff. And I try to tell everyone also, I know everyone wants, it's been disastrous, and I feel for everyone. I really do. I take it to heart, honestly, after seeing my family friends that are out here. It's, even though their house didn't burn completely down, but they're affected by the same thing. I try to tell them all, instead of, you can do your cleaning, because I'm still going to find it, the soot and ash. And that's just the first step. That's just what confirms that I can get the industrial hygienists out here. If you sign up and go with us, though, that's the whole point. We just work on the contingency. I try to tell them, going back to that, I try to tell all these homeowners, though, try to treat it like a crime scene is the best way to do it. Two more things, though. So there's your smoke damage claim that you get. There's also 2 other buckets of money. So the maximum out of pocket when you sign with us is your deductible for that. But there are 2 other buckets of money that I don't see. Everything goes straight to the property owner or homeowner. The second one would be your personal property. Anything that's plush items, couches, pillows, blankets, rugs.
Surplus here.
Anything along those lines. And those are, you start making an itemized list as soon as you can. If you start throwing away stuff, take pictures. Please, you got to take pictures. You have to make a list. Start making a list as fast as you can of things that, okay, this smells like smoke, like I just threw it away. Take pictures and write it down before you do anything. That's only going to benefit you, because our public adjuster is going to maximize as much as they can. That's their whole job. And insurance agencies don't like public adjusters because they make them actually pay what they're supposed to and what's due. The third bucket of money is the ALE. If you had to leave your home and go stay in a hotel like Jay did, insurance has to pay for that. And so that's another bucket of money. But let's say your personal property, what I've seen more than anything.
Okay, he's coming right now.
Okay. What